This is courtesy of the AI hallucination of Pee Wee Herman, one Mr. Jeff Tarzia. If you guys are unfamiliar with Jeff Tarzia, he goes by Smash JT on the internet. And he is, with no preamble, one of the pretty stable grifter. Like, he's pretty firmly in that grifter sphere. He is currently being sued by Alyssa Mercante because of his defamation and basically harassment. And Smash JT is often the type of person who doesn't give people grace at all, ever, unless they're like on his ideological team. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he, along with a lot of these grifters, have never let certain things go. For example, do you guys remember the infamous Cuphead tutorial? Do you guys remember that? From a GamesBeat journalist, the Cuphead tutorial. If you're not familiar with that, allow me to briefly go over this. Don't worry, this all plays into this. Trust me, I'm always building towards something. So, if you didn't remember, we still have to watch this. It's important. It's important, okay? So, a lot of people, this was 8 years ago, Jesus Christ. A lot of people were very upset that a games journalist was not able to complete the tutorial section of Cuphead. And as you can see, all I typed in was Cuphead tutorial game journalist, and it's a lot. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. Everyone is going in on the game journalist, right? And the whole thing was the game journalist, Dean Takashi. Hey, I'll play it for you. But Dean Takashi was not uploading this footage as any sort of serious thing. It was simply him messing about with the game. He wasn't like the person who's going to play the game. He wasn't a viewer. He wasn't anything like that. They thought it was just a fun little lark. Well, they addressed this August 24th, 2017. It was not supposed to be a big deal. It was like a little jokey joke. So that's it. That was it. It wasn't supposed to be serious. When he did the tutorial, like, he even wrote, I suck at Cuphead because I play by defense, the running gun platform from Studio MDR is difficult. It is, but not in that sense, right? There's even a whole thing about it. Like, you guys can read it for yourself, but ultimately he was not doing this seriously. He even like labeled his own gameplay shameful, right? And we know that. I intended it to be funny, and I apologize that I misread the tone. Not just the tone of the video and the story. I mentioned from the first sentence that I sucked at Cuphead. As my colleague pointed out, I misread the climate in which it was received. I apologize that so many expected the best from me, and they got horrible gameplay. I apologize to my fellow game journalists, as I just made everybody's lives tougher again. My own response to my critics revealed my ignorance on a number of facts. In fact, platform games like Cuphead are not my speciality. Mike Minotti of GamesBeats plays them, and he will likely do the formal review of the game when it comes out September 29th. I came back with the video that I thought was unusable, but my colleagues thought it would be funny too. I didn't make any weighty judgments about whether you should buy Cuphead or not. I wrote a slice in time preview. It was naively devoid of context that possibly could have headed off that anger. So many people didn't realize that this wasn't a serious issue or a serious review. I've messed it down. So again, not serious. And just to really amplify this point, here's the footage. So yeah, so here's the footage, right? Now, to be fair, it is quite painful to watch. Oof. It hurts the longer you watch it. This is some DSP level of gameplay. Yeah, this is only 40-60 seconds in a 2-minute and 20-second clip, okay? So it is quite excruciating to watch, but ultimately not that serious. Not that serious. But a lot of people took this as to be games journalists can't play video games. That's why they have things on like games journalist mode, which is supposed to be an easy mode. Devs added a game journalist mode, right? Because the developers, Aggro Crab, in their game, Another Crab's Treasure, added a gun. So you can just shoot things, right? Video games journalist mode, like everything is video game journalist mode, like, right? That was the joke. Like, that was the joke, right? Like, everything's video game journalist mode, whatever, how game on, like, that was literally, until this day, people should make jokes about that, right? It's embarrassing. It's all this, it's all that, right? Game journalist mode. But now we just gotta I've been exposed to the fake game. Oh, he's coping so hard. I love it. I love that he's so predictable. So right here, DOA. One day gets over. Marathon is DOA after server slam backlash. There was no backlash, but he's calling the game DOA, right? It's done. It's dead. It's over. It's finished. He's had a lot of strong words about this game. Now, look at his output for a second. Mashechi likes to view himself as a real gamer. Loves video games. He's a real player. He's not a fake player like the CEO of, I'm sorry, the new president, Ashish Sharma from Microsoft. She's a fake gamer. She's fake. Mashechi's a real gamer. He's a real gamer, you guys. That's why he can put out all these things, because he's a real gamer. He knows what real gamers are like. He knows what they want, because he's one of them. He is one of them. So when he got his experienced gamer hands on Marathon, this was the outcome. Let's just watch. You're going to hear him speak a bit. Let's just watch.
I'm like, I don't even know if that's a person or a robot shooting bullets and everything. I don't know what it is, but I was trying my best with it. Which, oh, by the way, this is me fast forwarding to the part where there's actually action. There was about a 10-minute period before this where it was just walking around. I'm like, I don't even know if that's a person or a robot shooting bullets and everything. I don't know what it is, but I was trying my best with it. Which, oh,
okay, so a couple of things. First and foremost, if you notice the weapon he's using, this is an SMG. Now, if you notice, we'll mute him now because we won't have to listen to him again. But if you notice the distance he's shooting this person, or this stationary object, this is Sentry, by the way, you notice that he's using an SMG as I think he thinks the S in SMG stands for like sniper machine gun, instead of like submachine gun. So he is shooting a stationary target with an SMG, which means it's not hitting the target, wasting ammo, and just hiding behind the corner. That's not really how this game is meant to be played. I should know. Me and Crimes New Roman, we played this game. We played the Marathon Slam together. And you don't play like that. You're kind of constantly moving. You're checking your corners. You're looting, looking for better items, all that fun stuff, right? This isn't how you're supposed to play. And it wasn't just me who made this observation. It was a lot of people. If you're gonna play like this, you're part of the target audience. Oof. And so what's Mashechi, because he's definitely, a real mature man and takes criticism well, he wrote, pulling a clip completely out of context to get an own on my very first time playing this game is wild. All you showcase is what a shit show the game is. Impossible to find weapons and ammo. It was not fun. I played longer, understood it a bit more, and was still not enjoying my time with it. I didn't care to keep playing the game any longer to find the fun. I wasn't alone. The game will fail. Sony knows this. Bungie knows this. Deep down, you know this. Again, just putting it out there. I don't think you understood the mechanics, because you're saying impossible to find weapons and ammo. Yeah, the weapons, ammo drop was kind of low, but The weapons, you kill the people and you get their weapons. Like, there are some weapons on the field, but you're supposed to kill people and get their weapons. That's how this works. That's the whole point. If there was a bunch of weapons littered around the ground that you could pick up and use, then it wouldn't be an extraction shooter, because you could just find the best weapons and win. This isn't like a battle royale, right? And to say that he was pulling a clip out of context, this is the clip that he uploaded. Like, that's the clip that he uploaded. And another thing he said that was a lie is right around
about a 10-minute period. There was about a 10-minute period before this.
He said about a 10-minute period before it. So if you notice in the corner, it says 1934, right? I'll mute it again so you can see it, but it says 1934 right here. You'll see it in the corner. It's ticking down, 1930. Now, he said there was a 10-minute period of him just walking around, except for the fact that he's stayed in the same position during that clip. So there's no way he was walking around. I mean, these are the same buildings. He didn't switch buildings. This is the same vantage point. There's the same stuff in the background. He didn't move anywhere. But he said it was 10 minutes, which means this would have been roughly like what, a 30-minute game? It's 25 minutes. You get 25 minutes to get in, get out. So he couldn't have possibly been walking around for 10 minutes, because then the time would have been, well, not 1922 or 1930. It would have been closer to around like 15 minutes. So he didn't do any of that stuff. This was just his gameplay. And again, not just me saying this, not just me noticing it. It's not out of context. You were showing it, dumbass. You spent 97 minutes total playing a marathon game. I highly doubt you understood the game after that amount of time. You have no other extractions played on Steam. I think you need more than 9 minutes on AimLab. And again, a lot of people. These are the type of teammates I get when I decide to bring in my best loot. Hey, I kind of expect the confidence trying to snipe with an SMG. Absolutely, we know we have to target ours. Target is so small, the game looking to survive. That's untrue. And like, these are the dumbasses agreeing with him. But these people, I refuse to believe they're actually people this bad at video games, and this dude makes gaming content. So bots have a huge red spot, right? And players look vaguely human. Now I see why COD bullets have to bend around corners for some people. Like this is yes, welcome back, Cuphead tutorial journalist. There are two wolves inside of him. They're both aiming at the same time. Oh my God. And so now the reason why I am taking such joy in this is because these are the same people who insist that games journalists don't know how to play games. They're terrible. But ironically, Smash JT considers himself an actual journalist. So I guess that's why he's bad. Like, I guess that's why he's bad at this game. And of course, imagine blocking someone, then quote tweeting someone else's responding to me. Free real estate podcast. Unblock me plus cuck behavior. Now, Smash JT says this. He says cuck behavior, correct? Now, if I go to here, notice how I can't comment because I'm blocked. And if we go to Smash JT's video, he has a video on me in regards to Asmongold. Me. But yeah, wrecked. That's my face, right? That's my face, right? Generational crash out, he calls it. So is he not also being a pussy and talking about me while I'm blocked? Interesting. Very interesting. This is the kind of person that he is. We can't handle anything. My favorite part is this. Marathon reviewer versus their gameplay. DOA, and then of course
by the way, this is me fast forwarding to the part where there's actually action.
So yeah, just just thought I'd show that. Just thought I would show that these are the people who will, at any opportunity, shit on all games journalists, basically all media, and tell them that they're the real gamers, they're the fakes. Even though the people they're shitting on have to play the game long enough to have reviewed it, right? They would try to say that, oh, games journalist. But again, a games journalist and a reviewer aren't the same, but these people, they are. So we'll just use their definition of it. But the games journalists have to beat the game in order to talk about it. Well, for the most part, some games are very long, like MMOs, and do like an in-progress review. But they have to get pretty far in the game, into the systems, to talk about it at any sort of credible level. So it's kind of intellectually dishonest to say that these people don't play games, they're not real gamers, when their career is literally playing games and then analyzing or reviewing. They have to have played the game, right? Like, that's just intellectually being true. They had to have played the game. But for him and his ilk to be so quick to doubt the skill level of people and then to demonstrate subpar skill for themselves. Now, here's the question though. Do you think the anti-woke people, his group, are going to give him the Dean Takashi treatment? You think they're going to be like, look at this anti-woke person, anti-wokies can't play video games? You think that's going to happen? He gets to crash out on a near daily basis. Matter of fact, I bet you right now, if we go to his stream, that he is still talking about this.
And their game and the microtransactions, DLC, season passes that they've already bought to go start a brand new game. It's sure there'll be some, but those are the modern audience, the people that never stick around anyways. So yeah. Aaron Alexander, official for the 5-banger. So activist slime balls are calling you a tourist? Speaking of Stellar Blade, tomorrow's arcade stream will summed up in 2 words: deep hurting.
Bro, this is such cope.
There's a lot of arcade games that would be punishing. I can't think of which.
Is he going to ignore the fact that the first sentence?
But curious. And yes, I'm being called a fake gamer, even though I beat very, very difficult games on streams. Sure, I didn't do it the first time, but I mean, nobody does. They're hard games.
Oh.
But I held my own.
Oh.
I think I did really well in Silksong. People who were in the Silksong streams, they were impressed with, like, God damn, Smash can actually fucking game.
Wow. Except for that's not what we're talking about though, right? So again, massive cope. Because we knew he would do that. In fact, I predict tomorrow's video is going to be talking about him coping right now. Because these people can't handle literally an eighth of the shit that they dish out. They can't handle any of it. Any fraction of it is too much. He must retreat to his corner and immediately stream to protect himself. Like, oh, you guys know I'm good at games, right? You know I'm good. Buddy, if you're good, why do you give a shit that you weren't good at this game? Chalk it up to the game. Go to the next one. You know? But when it comes to playing extraction shooters, you aren't that guy. And I'll be fair, I don't play a ton of extraction shooters either. You guys have seen my library at this point multiple times. Not an extraction shooter in sight. But the whole thing about game is diverse. You don't have to be good at every single game. In fact, I would go so far as to say, you don't really have to be good at games. You can beat games and not be good at it. You can play games for different reasons. But these people have to be the best at everything because they criticize people who aren't the best at everything. Dean Takashi you shouldn't listen to his reviews at anything because he was bad at one game's tutorial. But that same logic can never be used on them because they're not being fair. Like he said, I played Holosong and people were impressed. I held my own. Okay, they were impressed by Holosong, but not impressed by Marathon. Marathon and Holosong, different kinds of game, different kind of difficulty. One is against AIs, one is against AI and human people, which you couldn't distinguish two. But we understand that people excel at different areas. Like, yeah, I'm not going to watch Dean Takashi talk about Cuphead from a reviewer standpoint because he very clearly didn't understand mechanics. But let's say he was really into JRPGs and he's talking about, I've been watching lots of K-Bash videos. So let's say he's talking about Xenoblade Chronicles. I might give that a listen because he has a history in that, right? Not everyone has to be the best at everything. It's really a like conservative gamer mentality that you have to be the best in order to talk about video games. You don't. But when you hold people up to these standards and you don't live by them, that's hypocritical. It's the same thing with everyone who's all like, oh, Andrew top G, top G, top G this, top G that. He gets his ass kicked by a reality star. And then suddenly it's, well, he's older. Well, he hasn't fought in much time. Well, he hasn't done this. Well, he hasn't done that. It's like, okay, so why is he allowed all these concessions and yet still allowed to call himself a real alpha male who's dominant? But then when someone else doesn't even espouse those same virtues, are held to that same standard, they get no grace. Yes, is a man in his 40s acting like this? Exactly. Exactly. Listen, at the end of the day, it's a fucking video game. I'm not that great at Marathon. I got fucking ganked a ton. I was still learning the ins and outs. I did get some kills. I actually had some pretty good loot and I fucking lost it. But that's just the game. I don't play extraction shooters for that reason. It's a kind of stressor I don't like. I like character action games, as you guys well know. I streamed all of the Ninja Gaiden for you guys and for myself. I played the demos for mostly character action games, right? That's my shit. I love that shit. So I'm pretty decent at those. But even then, I'm not the best at them. But I enjoy them. That's all that fucking matters, is enjoyment. This is what happens when they get a little bit, a tiny fraction of what they put out. It's this. It's cope. Right? But if this was one of their ideological enemies, or even someone who's done nothing to them, but they think they're like on, you know, the woke side, they would tear them apart. Do you remember the game Take Us North? That got torn apart just for being a story about immigrants. That's it. That's all it did. Oh, what's an illegal alien simulator and this, and that, and they're getting paid and all this and this and this and that and that. And they harassed them to the point where they went like radio silent. I don't even know if that game's going out anymore. And they are proud of that. These are the people who take joy, especially him. They take so much joy in ruining things for other people because all they can do is tear shit down. And then when they get torn down, it's a multi-stage crash out. It's him lying here, and then it's crashing out here, and then it's saying, I'm going to attack Paul Tassi. Then it's making a whole video about it being DOA. They'll bring up Concord a billion times. Oh, put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag. Little bro.
Which, oh, by
get to the McDonald's orientation. This ain't it. This ain't it. But they can't handle that. Alyssa Makante, his lawsuit? Who cares? And then it's just about his tweets. But that, look, it's Amelia exposed the rot in the UK. Who gives a fuck? Like, it doesn't. Amelia exposes the migrant stabbing crisis in the UK. Amelia again. It's like it's all over the place. It's all over the fucking place. It's all over the place. Crash Income Xbox's signal that AAA industry is in serious trouble, and he just has nothing but women in front of it, including an AI person. Well, he's all AI photos, but like it's like if he talks about video games, he talks about it in terms of hating women, and then Amelia about the UK, about Keir Starmer. They're going to revolutionize. Like he's obsessed with the UK suddenly. Like he's obsessed with the UK suddenly. Disaster. Square Enix killer and can crack 1,000 concurrent players. And so he puts black people on the cover of it. And then Keir Starmer. And then again, Amelia. That's it. Like that's it. Like, and this is the shit they put out. This is the actual shit that they put out. You think they have any love for video games? Any understanding for gaming? Of course they fucking don't. This is why, though, I love when they do stuff like this, because it's such fertile grounds to just really dive into their psyches, which isn't that deep of a dive, but this is who they are. This is who they've always been. Anytime they try to say something in good faith, they can't. For them to argue in good faith, they would have to have an argument based in reality, which they never do. Mind you, Smash JT was one of the people who thought Jason Schreier stole a scoop from him and Grums. They thought that Jason Schreier stole a scoop from them. And then when Jason Schreier interviewed Rocksteady about Suicide Squad Kill Justice League, they said, not them, but like their side, right? Asked, why didn't you talk about Sweet Baby Inc? And they were like, why didn't you do that? And she's like, because it wasn't a concern. It wasn't a real thing. What went wrong with Suicide Squad Kill Justice League? Justin, not one mention of the woke tone turning off fans or SBI that Sweet Baby Inc. influenced. Really, Jason? Jason, this article is about what actually happened. I asked a dozen cult members what wrong in their cult, and none of them mentioned the Kool-Aid. But to not even mention it yourself in passing, at least an article, even if you disagree, come on, man. This game single-handedly kicked off the SBI tracker on Steam. No, it didn't. Last thing I'll say on this topic, the premise and story of Suicide Squad Kill Justice League were the vision of Sefton Hill, director of the Arkham trilogy. Anyone else who tells you that Sweet Baby made them kill Batman or do anything else is lying, period. These are the people, and this is their audience. It's their audience who buys into shit like this. But this was the bar I was talking about. Right, so it didn't have any effect on development behind the scenes, hiring packages, turning off millions of fans. Do you not remember this game was what kicked off the Sweet Baby drama to begin with? It also was not the game that kicked off the Sweet Baby Inc. drama. Like, he's actually factually wrong about that. It was not about Suicide Squad. It was about fucking God of War. To not even mention it is negligent, absent journalism, dishonestly so. I asked 24 people who worked on the game what were wrong, and not a single one mentioned the words Sweet Baby. You are chasing angry hallucinations created by grifters who make money off your rage. That is a fucking bar. Okay? And that shit has been echoing throughout my cerebrum.